I take my space in the world because if I don't take it, no one is going to give it to me. And if no one is going to give it to me, then I must give it to myself. And I shouldn't expect people to give it to me because people are on that same mission when they have to give to themselves. They have to become all that they can be. Wanting more doesn't make you ungrateful, because once you get, you understand how fulfilling it is to believe in yourself, to give yourself a chance at receiving. And a lot of the time when you're the one that's used to giving, it feels uncomfortable at first. It's not the natural inclination in life. I commit to myself, which also means listening to my needs. I'm going to nap. I smile. I raise the vibration. I am lucky to grow through incomfort or discomfort. Right now I'm reading a book that I've been carrying with me for a couple years already. I think at first it was kind of a way to write some notes in art school, but with time it turned into a journal and then a palette. Like when you're painting, see what I'm holding right now? Yeah, the book was kind of that. I was using the pages to mix my paint. There is no good or bad in my personality. Everything is valid. And when I say there is no good or bad, it's just that how can you be hungry for more if you are there trying to quantify yourself instead of quantifying the personality and wondering, am I enough? Am I good enough? You just go for it with whatever you have to offer, and then life will show you what needs to be toned down and what needs to be brought up a notch. And to me, even that painting that I'm doing on video that you're watching was an expansion of the tiny canvas that was the same concept, same painting, but that just needed to be bigger. Nothing was wrong with the first canvas. It was just not taking the space that it needed to take. So sometimes we're stuck into fixing ourselves, wondering, fixing. I always was very hard on myself. Love and hate is so close. I can't believe nothing lasts forever. Being copied doesn't flatter me. I have no excessive anger to push on people. Emotions are worthy and okay. Being detached doesn't make you better than others. I don't really feel lonely. Everything is a circle. I learned from my mistakes, so I can't beat myself up for those anymore. I don't have time to be sad. Love is the most amazing feeling on earth. I wrote this poem, or this just journal entry, 4 times. in this book. I thought that it was perhaps important. But I do remember when emotions became more of a natural thing for me. And it happened at a time where I couldn't escape them. So it felt like everything was collapsing. I felt lost. I felt like I was so in my ways that I couldn't really see things from other people's perspectives. And I was very immature, at that age too. I think that's what they mean when they say everything has to break down and collapse first for you to pick up the pieces again and come back to who you were always meant to be and what was always in you to begin. There's no good or bad in my personality, and I think that there's only elements that we amplify and that we become kind of defined by, and perhaps there are some parts that we dismiss. But when you come back to yourself, you'll understand why everything had to happen the way it did. Why you had to lose yourself many times to come back to yourself. And to come back stronger and better and with more acceptance and more love and more dignity. And I think dignity is the key word here. Thank you for guiding me through life. Even if it is often scary, I find comfort in change. And when I wrote that down, I don't know if I was feeling it. I mean, the thing with change and people that grow through change and uncomfortable situations is that in retrospect, after the fact, we understand how much we poured into our life mission and how much the changes that we made were major, and for a lot of people, extremely major. But when you are made to change and when you feel like you grow through change, when you are in a moment of change, even though you're doing the craziest thing ever, it never really feels like you're doing something hard or perhaps too far away from what feels comfortable to you on the moment. It's always in retrospect that it feels bigger than it was, and you look at yourself and you're saying like, wow, can't believe I did that, can't believe I was able to handle that. But on the moment, you never thought this way because it was always meant for you. You know what I mean? And that's how you know something is for you. On the moment, it may feel uncomfortable, but with time, it always feels like it was a bigger sacrifice or a bigger decision than it was on the present moment. That means that you changed. And you have to be proud of your past to look forward to the future and to invest in yourself in the present. Because if you're not proud of your past, and proud maybe is a big word, but at least accepting it though, and then you kind of build into feeling proud because it led you to where you're at. So you have no choice but to root for yourself though. But perhaps when you don't accept your past, you try to hide, run from emotions and parts of yourself and things that you used to judge about who you are. there's an amount of energy in the present that can never be used to its full potential. And you can never really feel hungry for more because you're still not able to let go of what was. How can you get more? How can you be deserving of more if you don't take care of what you already have? I'm looking through another journal. And my first entry of self-improvement, I want to say, even though at the time I didn't really know it was self-improvement, was in 2015, where I was saying, I want to work out every weeknight and at least one night on the weekend. And then it's like dots with different points, and I was young. I'm still young, but the more experience you get in life, the more you realize that, you had to grow up very fast. And that's crazy that at this time in my life, I was already focused on that. But yeah, if you grow up really fast, you learn to become more free and more or less like a kid again, because you never really had that experience. The first point was working out every night, right? And the second was not spending all my money and save. Giving a second chance to someone that's really close to me, like blood. Telling my parents that I love them more often. Being mindful of my friends and being present when I listen to them. Listening to myself and following my emotions. It is okay. Eating better, doing my studies well, and continuing to have good grades. Surprisingly, no matter what I was going through or how rebellious I would feel or whatever, I would still really have good grades. So, and that's not because I was gifted, it was really because I was still doing it, like studying and finding the time, never taking it for granted. Like I literally wrote it down. Opening more to my mom, show more in my actions, cut junk food and snacks, drinking a lot of water, and take care of myself. I was a young teenager at that time in my life when I wrote that down. And the first time I found this list again, I was like, check. She was on the plot. She knew what was going on. And in this moment in my life, that's when I started really improving in my awareness journey. And even though you start your awareness journey and you start to level up in your life, there are still times where you're going to get lost into it. And when you don't know how to dream anymore, and you don't know what more would be for you, and how to get inspired, and how to feel fulfilled, that's when you know there's something in your personality, in your core being, that has been left out, that hold the answer. It's all within yourself. You really do have a lot more potential than you think in terms of finding the answers. a lot more. Am I the only one that carries these journals? I've moved so many times in my life, but no matter what I give away or I get rid of or I donate, these journals will always stay with me. And we always say never look back and just look forward, but if you can't look forward anymore, if you don't have excitement for what's coming, then you must look back, because your present is telling you that there are answers that you've not really tapped in. And wanting more in life is a sign of determination, of expansion. And when you do it in your own way, in your creative way, the vibration you're sending inspires way more people than you would think. Even everything that I have right now, and even you listening to me and having listened to this video all the way through, means more to me than you can imagine. Thank you. Go get more. Give yourself what you want and what you deserve. You owe it to yourself to become exactly who you can be.